The most private people online aren't hiding in fear. They're holding on to something social media can't buy: control. In a world obsessed with selfies, over 40% now limit personal photos, not out of shyness, but strategy. Why do some choose strategic invisibility when platforms say visibility equals worth? The psychology behind never posting your photo rewrites what we think privacy really means, and the next 12 minutes will show you why. According to Pew Research Center, 34% of US adults on social media say they never post their own photos or videos. For some, this isn't just a habit, it's a shield. The choice to stay faceless online begins long before the first selfie prompt. It starts with a simple calculation. Who will see this? What will they think? And how long will it last? Platforms promise connection, but they also create what psychologists call context collapse. The moment when classmates, coworkers, relatives, and strangers all blend into a single, unpredictable audience. One photo, meant for friends, ends up in front of everyone. For Maya, a college sophomore, the decision not to post isn't about shyness. It's about keeping control. She remembers watching a friend's innocent group picture spiral into family drama after an uncle stumbled across it online. Maya's social feeds are filled with memes and song lyrics, never her own face. It's not that I'm hiding, she writes in her journal. It's that I want to choose my moments. Psychologists describe this as image permanence anxiety, the worry that one photo, once uploaded, never really disappears. Unlike a whispered secret, a digital image can be screenshotted, reshared, or resurfaced years later. For perfectionists, the stakes feel even higher. Take Maya's classmate, Sam. He spends hours editing drafts of posts, only to delete them at the last minute. The fear isn't just about looking bad, it's about being judged by people he can't even see. Social anxiety researchers call this evaluation apprehension, the sense that every photo could become a target for criticism, or worse, a meme. In a world where a single image can be misread, misused, or misremembered, silence becomes a form of self-defense. The irony: people who never post often notice more. They read the room, sense the mood, and remember the drama that can follow a simple upload. Their absence isn't emptiness, it's a carefully drawn boundary. For them, privacy isn't passive, it's an active, everyday choice. And while the world scrolls by, they're quietly deciding which parts of themselves are worth sharing and which are worth keeping safe. Maya's refusal to post her photo isn't just about privacy, it's a line in the sand. In a world where algorithms hunger for faces and recruiters, Google before they greet, she's staking out autonomy, pixel by pixel. Psychologists call this identity sovereignty, the power to decide how, or if, your image enters the digital marketplace. Self-determination theory explains why some people push back. For Maya, the act of staying off camera isn't passive resistance, it's a micro-rebellion. She's not just dodging awkward tags or nosy relatives, she's refusing to let a platform decide what's worth sharing. The pressure to self-disclose ramps up as careers begin. New teachers, for example, often scrub their social media before stepping into a classroom. In the UK, it's become almost ritual, deleting college party selfies, archiving vacation shots, and locking down profiles so tightly that even a determined student can't find a trace. This isn't paranoia, it's reputation management. The term for this is role image divergence, the gap between how someone wants to be seen in their professional life and the digital footprints left behind. For educators, therapists, even junior lawyers, a single photo can blur boundaries and erode authority. Some report that being hard to Google actually boosts credibility. In fields where trust is currency, a blank profile picture can say, "I know how to keep a secret." Maya's approach is deliberate. She curates her presence like a locked briefcase. Only what's necessary, nothing more. She's watched classmates scramble to untag themselves before job interviews, and she's read enough stories about careers sidetracked by a forgotten post. For her, silence is strategy. She isn't waiting for permission to be visible. She's choosing when, where, and if she'll ever hand over her face. And while some see this as aloof, Maya calls it freedom. The world can scroll by. She'll decide what lasts. But not every boundary is drawn for career or agency. For some, the stakes are personal and sometimes even life-saving. Anna R. Miller's story begins with a single upload. In June 2020, she shared a photo with friends, never expecting it to be copied, weaponized, and spread in a revenge porn attack. That image, once harmless, became a source of dread. Her inbox flooded, her safety suddenly in question. Filing a police report brought some relief, but the damage lingered. Anna deleted every photo, locked down her accounts, and hasn't posted her face online since. She describes the silence as a kind of healing. It's not about hiding, it's about getting my life back. Not every decision is born from trauma. For others, the choice to stay faceless is a quiet philosophy. Cal Newport's term, digital minimalism, has become a rallying point for people like Maya's friend, who refuses to post any personal photos, no matter the occasion. He says the trade-off is simple: less noise, fewer comparisons, more time for things that matter offline. Pew's 2022 survey found that about 34% of US adults on social media never post their own photos or videos, often citing peace of mind as their main reward. In some communities, abstaining isn't just personal, it's cultural. A Hasidic elder explains, "We're taught that modesty is strength. Sharing your image invites the wrong kind of attention for yourself and your family." In these circles, public image sharing is discouraged, sometimes forbidden, as a matter of collective privacy and faith. One modesty rule reads, "Let your deeds, not your face, speak for you." Whether the motive is survival, simplicity, or shared tradition, the result is the same: a deliberate absence. These stories reveal that non-posting isn't always about fear. Sometimes it's about reclaiming space or honoring a code. And in a world obsessed with exposure, choosing invisibility can be an act of self-respect. Clearview A. I built its business by scraping billions of faces from the open web, turning everyday photos into a biometric database for police, private companies, and anyone willing to pay. In 2020, the company landed in court, accused of violating Illinois' Biometric Information Privacy Act by collecting faces without consent. Civil liberties attorneys argued that a person's likeness isn't just a selfie, it's a key that can unlock addresses, habits, even secret struggles. The fear isn't paranoia, it's math. A single image, once uploaded, can travel further and last longer than any intention behind it. Privacy advocates testified that their faces, lifted from old profile pictures, appeared in police databases without warning. In some countries, regulators ordered Clearview to erase entire collections. But the technology keeps advancing. Deepfakes and face search engines can now link a childhood photo to an adult's resume, a protest snapshot to a home address. Meanwhile, the hunger for digital applause hasn't slowed. Every like, every heart, lights up the brain's reward circuitry. Neuroimaging studies show the ventral striatum buzzing when a post draws attention. But for people who never post their photos, the science is still catching up. What happens in the minds of those who opt out? Researchers at the University of Michigan found that students who rarely shared images reported 21% lower social comparison stress than frequent posters. Their self-worth, it seems, is built offline, away from the dopamine loops of digital validation. Maya watched the headlines and read the lawsuits. She saw friends traced by photos they'd forgotten existed. One afternoon, she opened her settings, deleted old uploads, and replaced her profile picture with a blank icon. It wasn't fear that guided her. It was a quiet act of dignity. In a world that wants faces for profit and proof, Maya chose absence as her final word. She logged out, letting her image belong to herself and to no one else. According to Pew Research Center data from 2022, about 40% of social media users limit sharing personal photos, a number that challenges the myth that visibility is universal online. Throughout this documentary, we've seen that choosing not to post photos can be an act of psychological safety, a response to professional concerns, or a reflection of cultural values. Evidence from Clearview AI lawsuits and documented cases of doxing highlight real risks, while studies from Michigan indicate that non-posters often experience lower comparison stress. Yet there are still gaps. The long-term effects of facial recognition technology remain uncertain, and not all motivations have been fully mapped. What is clear is that abstaining from photo sharing is rarely a sign of social weakness. Instead, it's often deliberate self-regulation and a defense against risks that are now part of daily digital life. As the internet evolves, the choice to remain unseen remains a valid and often wise response.